Can you imagine?
I know, that's so sweet of you, though, to feel for Barry, because Barry's a douchebag.
Did we meet him?
We did meet him.
Oh, okay.
Mommamoo's a mom who cares, hasn't seen friends since it first aired. Amandamoo's a fan, no doubt, seen it more than she could count. We're so happy you're here too, as we rewatch Friends and we say moo. 2moopoints.
You want to start?
Hi, friends.
Hi, friends. Amandamoo, Mommamoo. Oh, you can say Mommamoo.
I'm Mommamoo.
We're here for our first episode of our Friends Rewatch, where we're going to talk about our experience and things that we noted about the episode and just talk about Friends. And it's the pilot episode. Let's go through the basics. So the title is either called The Pilot, or it's called The One Where Monica Gets a Roommate, or it's called The First One, or it's also called The One Where It All Began. Yeah, let's see what it's called in the DVD. But on TV it was just called The Pilot, because that's what it is. It's a pilot. And in the DVD it's also called The Pilot. But on TV, like in the info, like the title is sometimes called The First One, sometimes called The One Where It All Began, and also The One Where Monica Gets a Roommate, starting The One, blah, 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 for the titles. It was written by Marta, Kauffman, and David Crane, who are the co-creators and basically the main head writers of Friends. And it was directed by James Burrows, who is a well-known and...
The guy.
He's the guy, and he directs a lot of pilots, and a lot of his pilots get picked up for full seasons, which is kind of the goal of all pilot directors. And he's just amazing. Just all the interviews I watched for research, he's pretty sweet. I like him a lot. So it originally aired, or it originally premiered September 22nd, 1994. And a few days before ER premiered on the same channel, the first episode of ER. And then Shawshank Redemption came out the day after.
Really?
In theaters. Lots of cultural fun stuff going on. Not necessarily fun with ER and Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah.
So the first airing was viewed by approximately 22 million viewers, which is my favorite number, and it came out on the 22nd, so you know. And the 22 million viewers made it the 15th most watched television show of the week. 22 million for a first episode. I mean, it was sandwiched between Mad About You, is that what it's called, and Seinfeld. So those were already established and popular, but even so, for a first episode, I'd say everyone was probably pretty happy. Okay, and then, so the episode features three main storylines, I would say. Rachel's runaway bride journey, leading her to a new independent life with a new roommate and possibly a first ever job. That's how I wrote it out. And then we have Ross, whose recent separation slash divorce moves him into a new apartment, but all he wants is a love to share his life with. Where is that love?
Poor guy.
Where could it be?
Right in front of his eyes, in a wedding dress.
Or looking out another window as he's looking out that window. Then Monica has a first date with her wine guy crush, who has the potential to lead to a fifth date or a broken watch.
He blew it. There's no reason.
We haven't gotten to that yet. It's true though. I don't know what what happened to Paul?
It was a line.
What happened to him? Okay, so now let's talk about Friends. Let's get into it. So first of all, we watched it together, and I took note of how many times you laughed out loud, and it was more than 30 times. So I'd say that's pretty good. I was impressed with that, Mom.
I was really impressed with the first one. I was like, oh my gosh, if they're all going to be like this. It was so funny. I loved so many things about it.
We'll get to the rating, and you can decide what rating you think it is. So the pilot script took about 3 days to write, which is very fast, and supposedly it stood pretty close to the original, but I found the original script online, like the first draft, which was written in March, so a few months before it was shot, and I have to read you the character descriptions for a couple of them, because they changed, and also it was just written very strangely.
Well, had they already found the
No, this is the first draft of them writing it, still to be cast. The one, okay, let's see. Oh, Phoebe, she sells barrettes on the street.
Well, she could have.
And it also mentions she has a good heart, a good soul. So this is a few months before they actually filmed and finalized the script. Also Ross. He's a paleontologist, but not that it matters. It matters.
Oh, it matters.
It matters to Ross. We know that. Joey, handsome, macho, smug. He wants to be an actor. Actually, he wants to be Al Pacino.
Well, that's
Well,
probably true.
he might get to be Al Pacino's bottom. I think it's Al Pacino's butt that he gets. Never mind. He loves women, sports, women, New York, women, and most of all, Joey. That's literally what it says. So cute.
So cute.
And then Chandler, he works in front of a computer doing something tedious in a claustrophobic cubicle in a nondescript office building. Survives by way of his sense of humor and snacks.
Yeah.
Did you know that Chandler likes snacks?
No.
I love that the Joey description doesn't talk about food. I thought that it was going to say loves women, food, New York.
I know.
Joey.
Joey loves his food.
I love those descriptions though, because it's just like, how cute.
Yeah.
So James Matt LeBlanc was sick though. We were just talking about him. He was sick during this filming. Supposedly he had like 102-degree fever.
You're kidding.
Can you imagine working with 100? No, I don't want to talk about it. That sounds horrible.
And then he could have spread it to all his castmates.
True, but I don't know. That's true. I didn't really think of that. Sorry. But this is a quote by James Burrows that is just the cutest. It's my job to make them like each other. Dare I say, love one another. Because if they feel that way about one another, it's going to come across on screen.
I did.
And it totally did. Totally. And he also said that watching them, they did a staged audience run through. So before they filmed, they ran through the show with an audience. And he said that that's kind of when he saw the chemistry there.
But did they laugh 30 times?
I don't know. Probably, Mom. They're told, laugh.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Applause.
Yeah. And so since James Burrows directed a lot of really popular shows like Cheers, Taxi, Mary Tyler Moore Show, he went around, I guess, the cast, and I don't know if he did this with everyone, but like for Monica or Courtney Cox, he said, "You're Mary Tyler Moore. You're Mary from Mary Tyler Moore," whatever. Then Phoebe, "You're Reverend Jim." Is that from Taxi?
Taxi.
He's Back to the Future actor.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. And then Joey says, "You're Danza."
Tony Danza.
I don't know what accent or does that sound like James? Thank you. He's totally Danza though. I love Tony Danza. Okay, so the show starts with the title sequence. The first time we see, like, the show just begins with them at the fountain doing their whole song to "I'll Be There For You," and we'll have a behind the scenes video on the making of that song and the filming of the music video and the fountain sequence and all that. But so it starts with just the title sequence before there is no cold open. Because usually a cold open, then the title sequence.
Oh, okay.
And then you get into the show. We'll get into that in other episodes, I guess. But the title sequence is the only time that we see it's just them with the fountain dancing. So there's no clips from the show.
Right, because, yeah.
And that's initially what they wanted it to be, like the creators, but the NBC executives were like, they seem like they're just friends who would, I don't know, not be friends with other people. Like, they're too cool, sort of. And so they wanted it to be more, like, welcoming. I don't know. So that's the only time that we see just the fountain dance sequences. So after the title sequence, then we go into just the body, the main bit. It's just like a long body. Start with Central Perk. First scene, the beginning, it has these little vignettes or these little clips of scenes, like cut one after another. You have Chandler talking about his dream, Monica talking about hating dating or something, I don't know.
I'm not looking forward to
Yeah, then Ross comes in and he says his little hi,
Yeah.
which we do have our board of catchphrases, which we will mark down. Ross said hi. We will mark that down and keep tabs on that. We got actually another 2, but from Chandler with his catchphrases later on. So I started watching Friends on the DVDs. These are my favorite things in the world. Because in the original TV airing, they cut a lot of stuff. There's a lot of deleted scenes, and they're tiny little bits of dialogue, but they're so important. They're so lovely. So I took note of some, like when Ross comes in and he's all hi, and he sits down and Phoebe's like, ooh, 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 and he's like, just leave my aura alone, okay? And she goes, fine, be murky. But the Fine Be Murky is cut from the original airing, and it's just
I
like,
know, and it's, yeah.
isn't that like, it's such
It
a
just
good
adds
line.
to their personality.
It totally
But
adds.
they had to cut it to
I know
30
they did.
minutes.
I know they did. Less than 30, like 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
They also cut the line where Ross tells the group, I told Mom and Dad last night about his divorce and about Carol being lesbian and leaving him. They seem to take it pretty well. And then Monica goes, oh, really? So that hysterical phone call I got from Mom sobbing at 3 a.m. I'll never have grandchildren. I'll never have children. Was what? A wrong number? Ross, sorry.
Wow, they cut that?
They cut that, which
Yeah,
that starts out the relationship between Monica and Ross and Monica and her mom.
Right.
And the fact that, like, I cannot believe that her mother thinks that my daughter Monica will never have grandchildren. Like, that's what Monica was born to do.
Because she's the motherly type.
She's totally the motherly type. And why does this... We'll talk about it, but... She's a bad mom.
I forget who the mom was.
Oh, she's fantastic!
Judy
Greer? No. Judy Greer's... No, that's the current actress.
Oh.
I don't know. The waitress... Oh, wait. No, Rachel comes in next. Sorry, I got ahead of myself. Rachel comes in a wedding dress after Ross just said, I just want to be married again.
Married. It was
I want $1 million.
perfect timing, yes.
And she's coming in her wedding dress and everyone's like, what's going on? Like, what's happening?
I love what she says too about you weren't home and blah blah blah. And you're the only person I knew in New York. And Monica says, yeah, that wasn't invited to your wedding.
Which is kind of weird. They're best friends in high school, like.
But like I said, they fell.
I know, but how could they?
That happens.
I know, but I stayed friends with my high school friends.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It happens.
It happens. Just strange with those characters, though. They don't seem like they would just fall apart. But I guess they were younger and stuff.
Yeah.
But the waitress who's at Central Perk asks her, can I get you anything or whatever? It's the same actress who we will see in 2 seasons from now.
Still working there?
No, she's working with Phoebe.
Oh.
In a very interesting episode. You'll see. Okay, so Rachel comes in and she talks about how she basically just left her wedding. She's wearing the wedding dress. Oh, and that's why I'm wearing white lace and a white bow in my hair.
Oh, there you go.
I was going for bridal. And dance, like, sweatpants or... Yeah. And she goes into her little talk about how she was looking at a Limoges gravy boat.
Yeah.
And she was like...
Limoges.
She was more attracted to the gravy boat than she was to Barry. Because she realized they look like Mr. Potato Head. If you don't know what Mr. Potato Head looks like, here it is. Right here, I'll just put a picture there. And you thought it was so sweet because Ross was putting the sugar into her drink while she was talking.
Yeah,
I thought
that really was sweet. I loved their interaction from day one.
From the beginning, yeah.
Yeah. So Limoges.
Yeah, I gave you the assignment.
Limoges gravy boat. It's named after a town in France that's known for making these
China?
really exquisite. Mm-hmm.
Like it's
They're beautiful.
breakable, right?
Most of them have handles on them and matching plates underneath, but it's from
it's interesting.
France.
Yeah, but it's like a standalone little piece that's like a little.
Yeah, but she got one
loved
as a wedding gift, and she just loved it.
I
hope she got to
Are they
keep
pretty?
it.
They're
beautiful.
They're beautiful.
Yeah.
She was just like, wow, that's beautiful. And she's like, oh no.
I like
it more than I like the idea of getting married. And then she ran. I think she went through a window too. Like she climbed out of a window and I don't know. That whole image is just like, oh my gosh, this was a major thing for her to do.
Half hour before the wedding, she realizes all this.
Not a good time. Then we go to Monica's apartment. That's our final little scene in Central Perk for the time being. Then Monica's apartment. I just wanted to mention that the windows in the back, like so the big windows in the back that you look out, that's where they'll look out and see
naked man.
Naked man, sure. Those were originally designed to be small windows, and Jim Burrows was like, no, let's have a big bay window.
Oh, that makes sense, so they can look out.
Very good idea, James Burrows. He also requested the wooden beam. There's a wooden beam that randomly appears in Friends episodes, and it's usually when he is directing.
Oh.
I don't know why
Otherwise
he
it's
liked
not there?
that. Otherwise, it usually is just, they're like, yeah, we don't need that wooden beam.
Oh,
Because
wow.
it's not necessary. It's not like it's holding up anything.
Yeah.
And of course, the iconic frame on the door, which I have in my kitchen right now on my wall. It's not the real one. It's a cheap plastic one. But it was originally a mirror.
Oh.
that someone broke when they were like,
Really?
I don't know,
They just
moving it
kept
around,
it,
and they
it's
were
so
like,
iconic.
huh, like maybe we should just put it
Keep
right
it.
there. I don't know who like was like maybe on the peephole or whatever,
Oh, that's interesting.
but they did a good job.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the scene starts with I think our favorite moment in the show. I don't know, in the episode, the telenovela Spanish soap opera viewing where they
Hilarious.
just are commentating.
And trying to figure out what's going to happen next, and
Because I don't think any of them speak Spanish,
No.
but they're coming up with some good stuff. But they cut out some of our favorites, like in the deleted scenes or whatever. But in the DVDs, watch the DVDs.
Yes.
Like my favorite is Phoebe. Oh, a woman is like holding her hair like she's frustrated or whatever, and she goes, if I let go of my hair, my head will fall off.
That's right.
That's so good. And in the background, Rachel is talking on the phone.
Great writing.
Yeah, it really is good writing. Rachel's talking to her dad on the phone, and it is this is one of my favorite moments in the show as well. Basically, this whole scene is just great. She's like, well, it matters to me whether I love the guy or not, and she's saying, I don't want to be a shoe. I want to be a hat or a purse. I don't want you to buy me a hat. It's a metaphor, Daddy. So good. And then, Phoebe later on sings to her a little bit later, My Favorite Things, which is from the musical Sound of Music. Then we get to know that someone's coming, and it's Paul the wine guy. And Phoebe's like, what does that mean? Does he sell it, drink it, or just complain a lot? Good one, Phoebe.
WHINE.
Good one. But seriously, we think that he sells the wine, right? Is that what we kind of guess? I don't know.
He probably delivers wine to the restaurant. So he's known as the wine
guy. And everyone, I think they all think it's funny,
he...
and that's why they call him that. Like, it's just a funny, like, Paul the wine guy, not just Paul. Mm-hmm. And I think she's had a crush on him for a while. That's what it seems. And for good reason. He's very handsome.
He is handsome.
And we both agree he doesn't need the line. We don't understand that, but we'll get into that later. But, okay, so I want to tell you about the actor. His name is John Allen Nelson.
Oh.
Okay, so he played Walt Cummings in 24. I think most people will know him from that. Then he also played Rebecca's dad on Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, which I've seen, and I like saw a picture of him, and I'm like, oh my god, it's totally Paul the White Guy. Great show, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. He was also on Baywatch, which, like, from that time period, he was perfect for Baywatch. But what I want everyone to know is that he was in a movie called Hunk, where he was the hunk. And the trailer is fantastic. It's from a 1987 movie called Hunk.
Really?
And I'm gonna include it here because it is so bad, so good.
Was changing an ordinary Bradley Brinkman into a handsome, heroic, incredible hunk.
What about my old body?
Hunk. One hell of a fantasy. Rated PG.
But, yeah, so that's John Allen Nelson. So he's still...
And that was the only episode he was in.
Of course, he
Yes. We
doesn't deserve Monica.
Heck no.
Another little line that was cut was her, Monica goes, I'll be right back. I just gotta go, Ross goes, wandering? That was cut. Why? Why? Just keep it 40 minutes, whatever.
I know, really. Go overtime.
So I have to say that I don't love Joey in this episode. Joey's my favorite character, but...
He was sick.
Well, he was sick. No, I love his acting. It's fine. It's the writing. I don't feel like his character was there yet.
It's not developed.
I like, this is another cut line, but he tells Paul, like, just a little tip. She likes it when you rub her neck in the same spot over and over again until it starts to get a little red. Like...
That's so funny.
Like, he's being, like, rude. You know, he's trying to... It's mean. He's teasing, but, like, that's mean. Like...
Yeah, that's Joey.
But it's not Joey. Joey would never do that.
Yeah, he would.
No.
Oh.
I don't think so. But anyway, that was just one of those cut lines where I'm like, I'm glad that was cut, because I don't like that. Like, why does her friend know that, first of all? Or is he just making that up?
He's probably just making it up. Just trying to be funny.
He's being mean. She likes this guy. Anyways, one of Phoebe's most famous lines is, oh, I wish I could, but I don't want to.
Oh, I know.
And you laughed and you said, oh, she's so honest.
She is.
I know. And then, right after this scene is Phoebe's cut subway song scene. This scene is just not in the original. And if you bought it on iTunes, it's not on there. It's her first, like, song, other than My Favorite Things. It's her first original song, and it goes, love is sweet as summer showers, love is a wondrous work of art. And it goes on and on and on. Typical.
Baby.
But supposedly it was cut because of the sound issues, because it was supposed to be a subway, and I guess the people walking up and down the stairs was a little noisy. But they were going to replay it on NBC, and the pilot, they were going to show it again, and Lisa came back into a studio to record the vocals again.
Oh, I see.
So that they could actually...
better.
Yeah, to get her sound in. So next we go to Ross's new apartment, where he's unboxing and building furniture with the boys.
With parts missing.
With Chandler and Joey, yeah, and they're trying. They're trying. You asked when we watched, will he live by himself? Yeah, he will live by himself. And also the Mento joke was cut, which I was sad, because first of all, the whole line where he says, I'm divorced, I'm only 26 and I'm divorced, Ross says that. So some people didn't get to see that, which is like, I don't know, it establishes his age. I know. Everything has to be cut, I know, but I don't want it to be cut. But they say Mento line. Oh, you've had a relationship that lasted longer than a Mento, Chandler says. And we think that's funny because, I don't know, when I think of the Mentos, I think of my childhood. But I think they're still around.
I don't know. I haven't seen
them
them
either.
in a long time.
But they're good, mints, and they're chewy. They're good. I like them.
They were very popular for a while.
Yeah. You also mentioned that his pants are so baggy, Ross.
Oh.
They are kind of baggy. I didn't notice that. But thank you for noticing that. Then we get to see Monica's date, and you wanted to mention that the plant on the table was so cool. And it is kind of cool. Is it a succulent or like a dry?
I don't remember.
I don't know. We'll figure that out, maybe. I don't know. But this is when he tells her that he broke her watch. That Paul broke his ex's watch after she broke his heart or whatever. And she's like, wow, the worst thing I ever did was shredded a boyfriend's favorite bath towel. And he says, oh, steer clear of you. But for Monica, that's a big deal. Towels are important to Monica.
I know, yes.
So, yeah, if she was shredding up a boyfriend's towel. Then we get to see Rachel's phone call to Barry, where she's just leaving messages. And it was cute to see your reaction, because you didn't realize.
I didn't realize it was an answering machine, and then she got cut off several times.
And then calls again,
It was so funny.
And also she says something about Barry Finkel, but later on he's called Barry Farber.
Really?
Oops. So they changed, no, they just changed it, I guess. I don't know. You also said, poor guy getting all those messages.
Can you imagine?
I know, that's so sweet of you, though, to feel for Barry, because Barry's a douchebag.
Do we meet him?
We did meet him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, then we go back to Ross. The whole ice cream flavor talk.
Yeah.
So...
Well, it makes sense. He just thinks there's one woman for
and
every guy.
That's Ross, though.
Yeah.
And that's kind of us, too. So what's your one ice cream flavor for you?
So our original camera died or ran out of space. We don't know.
We're talking about ice cream.
But we were talking about ice cream when we got cut off, which is so rude. But it's our favorite, or our one flavor. I know now yours is strawberry cheesecake, which I had no idea.
Or blueberry cheesecake.
So many years living in your world, Mom.
Well, it's not very common, and so what if
it sounds good though.
It really is good.
And mine is chocolate chip cookie dough, and I just had it yesterday. It's the best. It's my one. If I had to have one, it would be that. So good. Okay, so then after our cheesecake discussion, whatever, then we go to Monica's date, where she has this is the spit take, where she spits in Paul's lap. Supposedly they took a lot of takes of that.
Oh, really?
Supposedly. That's what the
they settled on the right one.
Yeah, it's fine. Like, I can't imagine it taking that many, but and the spit take happens after he says that he couldn't perform sexually for 2 years or whatever, and you were like, that's why I didn't think this was appropriate.
Oh.
Which is funny. Like, I was 14 years old. I don't remember thinking this is
right
so...
from the get-go, they talked about, controversial, things that were kind of different in those days, I thought.
A little bit, but I mean, Seinfeld was around.
Yeah, that's true.
Masturbation episode had already happened.
Oh, really?
Yes.
There you go. Okay. Then they fit right in.
Yeah. They don't say the word masturbation, though. Of course not.
Oh, that's right. They don't.
They just hint at it. Sorry, we're going off topic.
Different show.
Different show.
Then we go to Monica's apartment where Rachel is watching Joni and Chachi. You tell me about it because I don't know.
So Joni and Chachi were on
Happy
Days. And then they, so I looked it up, and they spun off into their own show, but it was canceled after two seasons. And then they came back for the
like a special
for season. No, they came back, I think, season 10 or season 11.
of Happy Days.
And they kind of broke up, and they got back together, and their wedding was on the finale
of Happy Days.
Of Happy Days.
Aww.
Yeah.
So in an interview with Conan O'Brien, I think it was Conan O'Brien, Jennifer Aniston talks about how when she was a kid, she loved the show Joni and Chachi.
Yeah.
And they didn't have a VHS player, and so she would record it on her tape recorder and listen to it
afterwards
when she was a
dedication.
kid. And she would sing the theme song, and her describing it just shows how much she really loved it. It was just so sweet. And then she's watching on the first episode of Friends.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I don't know if she told them about that, but
came full circle.
And the fact that she says, like, see, Joni loved Chachi. That's the difference. It's like, yeah, you kind of should love the person you're getting married to.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, maybe.
If you don't love them then.
And then the next scene, then you're not possibly going to love them ever. Then we go back to Ross's apartment, and Ross says, does the phrase, Billy, don't be a hero mean anything to you? It means nothing to me. It never has.
It was a really
right?
It was a really popular song, and it came out in 1974. It was a pop song by Paper Lace in the UK, and it was redone by an American
band.
Yeah, an American group, and the whole song was associated with the Vietnam War. It's about a girl that says, "Billy, don't go to war. Don't go to war," and he does, and
he dies.
And she, at the end of the song, destroys the letter that she gets saying that he
was going to war,
that he died. Yeah.
Oh man,
it was really a cool
intense
song, but yeah, very sad.
I still don't know what Ross is talking about though. Do those words mean nothing to you? I don't know what he's talking about or why, but now I know.
Yeah.
And then we get the best little thing of Ross and Rachel looking out into the window where he says, "But even if I was going to date someone, who would it be?" or whatever. He looks out the window, and then we see Rachel. She's also looking out the window. That's right.
They're both looking out the window.
And you, when we were watching, you said, "Wow, right from the beginning, huh?"
Yeah.
Totally.
They had chemistry.
Totally.
And they thought about each other.
It's weird watching it, because we know it's Ross and Rachel forever, but it's still from the beginning. So the song that's used, though, in that scene is so beautiful, because I listened to it today. It's a song by Jackson Browne from his 1993 album, I'm Alive. And Jackson wrote the song solo. And in 2015, Rolling Stone ranked him as the 37th greatest songwriter of all time.
He's amazing.
I don't really know Jackson Browne, but I looked at some of his songs and I recognize some of them. But his voice in this song and just the song in general is really, really pretty. Yeah. And the lyrics that are used are, "If you ever need holding, call my name and I'll be there. If you ever need holding." But also I wanted to mention the Rolling Stone ranking of the top 100 songwriters of all time.
Oh.
Neil
Young. Neil.
17. Mom, that's great!
Oh, he should have been way up higher than that.
Taylor? 97. This was in 2015, so don't be. She was she just released 1989, so that's good, Taylor. We're proud of you, Taylor. You got the best is yet to come.
That's right.
Okay. So then we have the scene in Monica's apartment the morning after her date. And Monica exits her bedroom going, "Oh great, Lenny and Squiggy are here." That's a deleted line though. So tell me what Lenny and Squiggy.
Another spin-off from Happy Days. Laverne and Shirley were on Happy Days, and then they got their own show, and their neighbors across the hall were Lenny and Squiggly, and they were priceless.
So they're squiggly?
Squiggy.
And are they silly? And
oh, so silly.
They sound like clowns.
Squiggy.
Yeah, that's what I kind of assumed. They're great names, too.
And then that show was on from 76 to 83.
That separate show?
Laverne and Shirley.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. I know Laverne and Shirley, but I never heard of Lenny and Squiggy.
Oh, gosh, they're so funny.
And when they filmed this pilot, NBC was worried about the whole Monica date, sleeping with Paul on the first date.
Oh.
And so they had a questionnaire. They gave it to the audience. Like, do you guys think?
Oh, that he should or
that,
shouldn't?
No, that she's. Do you think of her as being like a slut?
Oh.
Or like, are you okay with her sleeping on the first date? When you watch the show, it's not a big deal. Like
everybody else thinks it's, he.
When I saw it the first time, I mean, I was a 14 naive little girl. Was I 14? I was 14 little girl. But I didn't think anything of it. So that's saying something. Yeah. Like, it's all good. Anyways, Monica says bye to the wine guy, and you can tell the audio was recorded afterwards.
Oh, really?
For part of it, yeah. And at one point when I watched this episode, I noticed that the stairs looked like fake stairs in the background, but I don't know if it's here or someplace else. But
pilot.
It's just one of those things where it's like, hey, I caught ya filming people. And then Monica walks in because the friends had moved her table, and I just want to say that Monica would be very upset with them. And in future seasons, she'd be so upset with them.
Oh, that they moved the table.
And then she says, put it back, whatever. But, like, she would want it to be put back herself. Like, yeah. And then we get Chandler's first catchphrase. It's not a catchphrase people talk about, but he says kids a lot. Like, hey, kids. Bye, kids. I don't know. But in this
it's
case,
interesting how he calls them kids.
It's cute. It's so him. I love Chandler.
Yeah.
All right, kids, I gotta go to work is what he says. So that'll be, the very top one. And spoiler, he calls them kids one more time at the very end of the episode. But we'll mark this down. It's empty now, but that's okay. Okay, and then we get Joey saying that he does regional work in acting, which I think is interesting because, like, regional is like that's a good thing, I think, for a theater.
Yeah.
But I don't know when it comes to acting, like.
Well, he's like trying to build himself up a little, and the guys are like, everybody's like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. Did you see him do Pinocchio in the park? But I just thought that was cute. That I do regional work. I'm like, that's pretty good, actually, Joey. If he does, who knows if he does. And then we get the scene with Monica and Rachel talking about her date, and it's so cute. It's such a like girl moment where they're talking like about how happy she is, and like her smile looks like a hanger in the mouth, which
I know
we don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means.
Because the way the audience laughs,
maybe the way hangers are made, or
it sounds the audience though laughs like oh like it's inappropriate.
Oh well.
Which, like, I'm thinking something in my head, but I'm like,
yeah.
I don't think that they were. I don't know. So you can tell us in the comments if you understand that joke, or if you're Marta Kauffman and David Crane, explain to us what is that? Like,
what is that?
Looks like you slept with a hanger in your mouth. I don't know. We don't get it. Anyway, so then we go back to Monica's job. She talks to her friend and realizes that Paul used a line essentially on her to get her into bed, as Ross puts it. And then we go to Central Park and they're all laughing like, how can you not know?
I know.
Would you have known that was a line?
No, because he seemed very sincere and she was very excited to be out with him.
And he just seemed like a really cool guy.
And it was so unnecessary.
Totally unnecessary. You were the one who said, so stupid. He doesn't need to use a line.
I know. She really liked him and he's talking about the fifth date. And
he's really attractive. And like.
And doesn't he know girls talk? And
I mean, unless he's just not wanting to be in a relationship and he just wants to sleep with.
Maybe, that's true. He got her in bed, so.
Why put in the effort of taking someone on a date like that and.
Hurting them.
And
taking
then,
the chance.
and especially if he's working with them.
Yeah, well, bye-bye, wine guy.
Bye-bye, wine guy. Sad we're never going to see you again, but.
But you can see him on the Hunk.
24 and Hunk. I also wanted okay, so Rachel walks in and says, she's all happy because she got boots. We'll talk about the boots in a second. But I just want to make note of her vest dress thing that she's wearing. It's like a cardigan vest thing, and she takes it off in the next scene. I just thought that was so cool because it's like a dress long thing that she like just like she takes off like and she has a shirt and pants. Oh, totally in style then. But tell us, Mom, about Joan and something.
Joan and David Boots. I'd never heard of them before, but it was a company that was started in 1967, and it's a shoe company, and they made $100 million.
187, I think, or no,
Anyway, it was very successful. They were mainly in Bloomingdale's and high-end stores, and then by the year 2000, Bankruptcy. So
And they sold the company.
they were popular for a while, and they sold the company.
This was 1994, and a few years later, they were like, not doing so well. I just thought that was interesting.
I know.
Never heard of them, so kind of shows. Then we go to Monica's apartment to get Rachel cutting her cards.
Oh, that's so funny.
She starts with the library card, which is a cut little line.
And she's cutting the cards, of course, because
she needs to
cut herself off from her dad. Because I mean, she went on 12 interviews, and
I'm not qualified for any of them.
So what does she do? She goes and treats herself with those expensive boots, probably.
Yeah.
And
she's so happy about it.
Yeah, and how'd you pay for them? Well, Daddy's credit card. So now it's time to grow up, get a job, and cut your dad's credit cards.
That must have been so hard for her, though, because, like,
Yeah.
she's not used to relying on herself to make money.
I know. Well, it's growing up.
Yeah, we see she gets a job, so she'll be okay for a little while.
Yeah.
But she starts with the library card, cuts it, and then they're like, keep going. And Chandler, when she's actually cutting real cards, says, if you listen closely, you can hear 1,000 retailers scream.
Yeah, because...
And that line was cut, but that is such a good line.
I know, because they're losing her. Don't cut him.
Don't cut him. And then we get the tag, which is the scene that would usually air during the credits. And when it started, you said, "What's this? The next one?"
Oh, I thought it was the next episode.
Yeah, because it feels like it's a totally, like, the episode was done. Oh,
Yeah.
no. We didn't even get to the, we forgot about Ross. Ross and Rachel have their little talk where they share the Oreo.
The Oreo cookie.
Yeah, and they're so cute. And he basically asks her if he can ask her on a date in a future time. Like, just do it now. Even though it was her, the day before was her wedding?
There's that chemistry between
And you
them.
said they're so cute from day one. And we also both noted that she didn't eat her Oreo. And
yeah.
What's up with that, Rachel?
You have Oreos.
I got us Oreos, Mom. Product placement. But yeah, Rachel doesn't finish her Oreo, but I thought I would go buy us some Oreos so we can enjoy. Here you go, Mama.
A whole one? You're not going to separate it? As it rolls away.
The sound it made too. Oh, are we supposed to? He split it.
And he got that
was.
part, and she got the cream. And then she didn't eat it.
She didn't eat it.
Thank
Wait. There you go.
No, you can have that.
So I gave you the bad one. That's not nice, Amanda. Bad Amanda.
We'll eat it.
We'll eat it. And so she's all happy because she's like, yeah, you can ask me out. Sure. And
What was the tag?
well, when he walks away, you said he has a little kick in his step.
Oh, yeah.
And he also says, I grabbed a spoon. Very cute.
For ice cream.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Okay.
There's hope for us.
The tag is us finding out that Rachel got a job at Central Perk as a waitress.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's the
And
point
that she
of it.
doesn't make the coffee, so the guys want some.
Yeah. They're like, did you make it? Yeah, so you said, what is this one? And you asked, wait, so that's where she got a job? But you also thought that the actor that asks her, can I have some more coffee or whatever? You thought he was Borat, the actor who played Borat.
Kind of look like it.
It kind of did look like him, but this was 1994. I don't know how old Sacha Baron Cohen was, but.
No.
And then Chandler says, kids, new dream. So we will mark that down on our poster board. Okay, that's the end of the episode. Yay! Okay, but I did want to mention that reviewers, this one reviewer said that, oh, it's okay, but it's certainly nothing to get excited about. He also said, should be at least a moderate hit because it's sandwiched between Mad About You and Seinfeld.
Well, they did have a great lead in, and
I know that's true, but whatever.
it'd be interesting to find out how many viewers there were for Mad About You that
That's
night.
what I was wondering too. I didn't look that up, sorry. Also a Time magazine reporter wrote, in Friends, the crowd is always around to share their latest personal woes or offer a shoulder to cry on. But who would want advice from these dysfunctional morons with their obsessive pop culture references?
See, and I have friends that felt that way, and I remember thinking, "Oh my God, I love this show," and they'd be like, "No, we're not."
I don't want to know who said that. Don't tell me.
Yeah.
I won't like them. Okay, yeah. So, but now did you want to give our ratings? Are you ready to give Do you know?
Well, I just thought the whole episode was hilarious. I thought that they just don't make shows like this anymore, and if they did, I think I'd want to watch more sitcoms and less reality shows. But my rating was a 6. It wasn't like, but I just thought it was a great start to a fabulous
show. Okay, so my mom is giving it the 6, the Phoebe Brad Pitt reaction.
Yes, when she saw him.
And 6 is like great. It's great. 7 is unbelievable, like the best episodes. 5 would be good. 4 would be fine. 3 would be boring, sort of. 2 would be painful, just really bad. And then 1 is just like the worst, which none of the episodes will get.
I know. Don't see any getting.
I give it a 4, Mom. I give it a fine.
That's fine.
Because it's fine. It's not a great episode.
Like 5 is good, and I just thought it was better than good, so that's why I gave it a.
But I think it's hard for me because of
and I like
the whole. You're gonna give every single episode a 6. That's not how this works. Shoot, I shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry. Yeah. So you give I guess in between, if we would say it would be
averages
like
out to a 5,
which is good.
Yeah.
Final thoughts. I mean, that's kind of it. Is that kind of it? That seems
crazy.
crazy.
I mean, my final thoughts were.
Thank you, Oreo, for making delicious
now
cookies.
she'll eat these
Yeah.
for the next few
You can
days.
take them home.
No. Put them in the freezer. They really get cold.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you, friends, for watching.
Bye, friends.
We'll come back maybe next week for second episode.
2.
We'll see. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also wanted to let you guys know you matter. You are important. You are loved. And hang in there. You got this.
Yeah. Nice message.
And then we just say bye. Ciao.
Bye.